Did you know Kwamis don't feel physical attraction? I've been asking myself a question recently. What are Kwamis? Do we really understand what these cosmic beings really are? You see, I have watched this show for a couple of years now, and I still haven't figured out what the heck these things are. Yes, they are the embodiments of concepts, but the show rarely goes in depth when it comes to how they were created or what their powers really mean. So today, I will break down what we know so far of these mysterious creatures. Let's dive in. Let's start from the beginning. It starts with the Big Bang, where time and space is created, or so we think. And there we meet Tiki, the Kwami embodying creation. Creation is the process of bringing something into existence that did not previously exist. After Tiki comes Plague, the Kwami representing destruction, because creation cannot exist without destruction. For the universe to evolve, creation needs to be renewed somehow, which is where destruction comes in. Take a rock, for example. To create a statue, you need to destroy parts of the rock to form it into something new. To keep a lion alive, it needs to consume other life. Destruction caused by creation. Creation needs destruction or something like that. We don't know the order after that, but let's go through what the other Kwamis represent and what they mean. Trix represents the concept of illusion. Illusion is a distorted perception of reality. Ways represents protection. The concept of protection is to safeguard someone or something from harm. Sass represents intuition. Intuition is basically the ability to instantly understand or sense something without having to think it through or analyze it. Kalki represents migration. Migration means the act of moving locations to adapt to changing external environments. I don't know these science words, but Long represents perfection. The concept of perfection is to be without flaw, something that is complete and has no room for improvement. Zupu represents derision. Derision is the act of mocking something or someone in a disrespectful manner. Pollen represents action, and action is simply doing, typically in order to reach a specific goal. Molo represents multiplication. Multiplication can be seen as an act of expansion or a way of taking something and intensifying it by repetition, according to ChatGPT. Daisy represents jubilation. Jubilation is the outward expression of overwhelming happiness, a state of euphoria, in a sense. Bark represents adoration, a feeling that goes beyond simply liking, but a deep love or affection for someone or something. Oriko represents pretension. Pretension is the act of deceiving in order to appear more superior than one is. Ziggy represents passion. Passion is a deep-rooted enthusiasm for something, and it drives you to learn more about it and explore it further. Stomp represents determination. Determination is the mental strength to keep working towards a goal despite the challenges you face along the way. Fluff represents evolution. Evolution is basically a continuous transformation. Dusu represents emotion. Emotions are the feelings we experience in response to things that happened around us or within us. There's also a Native American miracle box, but that is too much to get into for one video. Besides destruction and creation, many of these concepts come from living beings on Earth. Determination, passion, adoration, jubilation, intuition. They cannot exist without the living to experience these concepts. You could say the Kwamis are equivalent to gods in a sense. They are the manifestation of concepts, and as each concept is formed, new Kwamis come into existence. Why there even is a need for Kwamis in the universe is another question. Why can't these concepts exist without birthing these magical creatures? But hey, why do gods even exist in mythology, am I right? In the past, we created gods to explain the unexplainable, so the world wouldn't be as uncertain and scary. Whether you believe in them or not is up to you, but in the miraculous universe, gods exist, and they are called Kwamis. However, these Kwamis couldn't interact with humans due to being invisible and non-physical to them. Regardless of that, they still had a growing desire to learn more about humans and communicate with them. That's where this guy comes in. We don't know his name, He is just some mysterious Chinese mage who created the Miraculouses so that the Kwamis could finally interact with humans. But that begs the question, how could this random guy even perceive these magical creatures? We don't know, but since he is a mage, he probably has some sixth sense that was able to see what normal humans can't. Similar to how mediums say that they can look into another dimension to interact with the dead. The Kwamis may be connected to some other dimension, and only the jewel can give them access to the one we can perceive them in. But not only did the Chinese mage give them access to the physical realm, he also made it so they could transfer a portion of their abilities to the ones wearing the miraculous. You see, when Kwamis use their powers without any form of restraint, the effects can be catastrophic for the world. Take Plague's dinosaur extinction, for example. The powers need a host to tame the intensity of it. After the Kwamis were given the ability to transfer their powers over to humans, they used their abilities to help aid them through tough times. Jeanne d'Arc is a good example. She was given the Ladybug Miraculous and used it to help her country, France, in times of need. That is what the purpose of the Miraculouses have been since they were created, to aid the right side of humanity, the good guys. You see, although these creatures were formed through concepts being born, they still inhabit a moral compass similar to humans. Take Nuru, for example. Nuru never fully accepted Gabriel as his master and showed strong disdain towards his actions. This means they have judgment as well as a concept of what is right and wrong. Plague and Tiki are the most important of them all, since the others literally can't even exist without the concepts that they represent. Without creation, nothing would exist, and without destruction, time wouldn't even be a concept, since the universe is in a constant cycle of creation and destruction to keep up a balance. Tiki and Plague are also the only confirmed Kwamis who can grant you a wish. When you unify the two Miraculouses, you will be greeted by the entity Gimme, the Kwami of reality. Even though Gimme is Plague and Tiki unified, Gimme seems to be an independent being. We can tell this based on how Gimme behaved after being awoken by Gabriel. The entity had no recollection of being a superhero sidekick and acted as if it had just been transported into the present after some long sleep. Gimme's power is to grant you a wish. However, the wish needs to balance itself out for it to take effect. Gimme's example of this was, if you want garden peas to turn red, then strawberries must turn green. The universe will be imbalanced otherwise. Another example told by Sass is this. Imagine the universe is a notebook, and everything is written in blue ink. But now you want to rewrite everything with red ink. You would have to erase the blue ink entirely before you can write it down. And that is how Gimme's power works. A wish is made, for example, resurrecting someone who's passed. To balance out the wish, another person needs to be sacrificed, and the universe needs to be rewritten to fit the wish's criteria. Apparently, rewriting the universe can have many unknown side effects, so it's overall best not to use its powers because it's very unpredictable. Another fascinating but underexplored piece of lore in Miraculous Ladybug is the concept of the multiverse. Within the Miraculous universe, the multiverse exists, and the Kwamis live in all of them simultaneously. This intriguing fact is revealed in the special episode Shadybug and Claw Noir, where Tiki explains to Marinette that other dimensions exist and that she is a part of every single one. Tiki also mentions that she can experience all these dimensions at once, which blows Marinette's mind. When Marinette questions why she was never told about this, Tiki brushes it off by saying there aren't enough hours in a human lifetime to explain everything she knows. Essentially, expanding on the multiverse lore would take too much time, and Miraculous is not about to dive that deep into such a convoluted concept. Still, the idea of a multiverse is incredibly interesting. I am no expert on space or how the universe works, but let's explore the concept of parallel universes anyway. Parallel universes are all about endless possibilities. Imagine every decision you make creating a different universe. In one, you wear a pink shirt. In another, it's green. Take it even further. Maybe in one universe, you were born as a boy, and in another, you became a chef, a pop star, or even a teacher. Every possibility you can imagine, and even the ones you can't, has a universe tied to it. Every path you could take, every outcome that could happen, exists somewhere in the multiverse. However, these universes are completely separate, meaning we can't experience or observe them. To make things even more mind-bending, some universes could have entirely different laws of physics. For example, one might be two-dimensional, while another might lack gravity or even light. Essentially, the multiverse suggests that everything that can happen, has happened, is happening, or will happen, just not in our universe. Of course, this is just a theory in science. We don't know if parallel universes are real, and proving their existence is a monumental challenge. If the rules of physics in another universe don't match our own, how would we even enter or observe it? Anyway, that's enough nerd talk for now. Why am I even mentioning the multiverse? Well, the fact that Kwamis exist within all of them at once really adds a depth of layer to these beings. As I said before, Kwamis needed some way to communicate with humans, and in order to achieve that, the Miraculouses were made. But why can't Kwamis interact with humans to begin with? Perhaps humans, regardless of the universe they come from, lack the senses needed to perceive them. Perhaps Tiki and Plag don't really have the form we see them as. It's just an illusion used to interact with humans and be perceived as something familiar to us. And if that is the case, then that begs another question. Why do the Kwamis need to eat? If Kwamis are these intangible magical beings who were born from abstract concepts, why would they need to be fed? Honestly, I don't even know. This might just be a plot hole to add some weakness to using their powers, which is typical in superhero stories. You could argue that creating energy out of nothing is impossible though, therefore the Kwamis need to take in energy to transform it into their powers. Maybe this is a condition set by the Miraculouses in order for them to lend their powers to humans. We have seen that Kwamis can also become sick from external factors, like cold temperatures, as seen in Princess Fragrance. So the Kwamis' physical forms are vulnerable to getting sick and needing to eat. However, here's another interesting element of the Kwamis. They can move through matter, basically walk through walls or anything that is solid. They can't get captured because nothing can physically trap them, except for the jewels. And it's honestly weird how some laws of physics apply to them while others don't. They need food to recharge their energy, and they can become sick just like humans, but they float and go through matter. It's like they pick and choose what weaknesses they want to have and which abilities they wish to keep as they are in the physical world. So, do we understand Kwamis better now? Or are you even more lost? In conclusion, Kwamis are born from concepts and have been given the task to aid humans. They live in multiple dimensions and have existed way before humans came to be. They know everything there is to know about the universe, so much so that it would take way over a human's lifespan to explain everything to them. Kwamis' role in Miraculous is to give superhuman abilities to good people who are fighting some form of evil. In this case, Hawkmoth. The Kwamis' powers can be abused for evil purposes, but the abstract creatures are naturally against the misuse and abuse of the power, showing that they have a strong moral compass guiding them. At the end of the day, a Kwami's purpose on Earth is, I think, to help humans in the end goal of creating a better world. That is why they have such high morality, and why they naturally desire to help humans through times of need. It's obvious they know more than you and I ever will. So whatever their purpose is, it's clearly the right one. But hey, let's not forget who actually came up with the idea of Kwamis and wrote these characters. Let's just say their logic is probably flawed as hell, but it's still fun to try and understand what we don't understand. Anyways, thanks for watching, and till next time.